Yeah, let's get stuck in, shall we? Good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Fizzy Brain, Volume 16, which is quite lovely. And I called it I Want to Ride My Bicycle, mainly because I've been riding my fucking bicycle quite a bit. So hello, my name is Aubrey Blakeledge, and this is Fizzy Brain. This is basically a stream, podcast, vlog, vanity project thing where I'm talking about creativity from the point of view of me, a weird, fizzy-brained bard wizard thing. Telling stories to you lovely people who keep me on the road about what I do on the road, and also some of the strange lengths I do to avoid actual work. And by actual work, I mean musical work, because this is my job. Not streaming, but all the creative random crap that I do. And I can't keep doing it unless you guys are entertained, effectively, and you guys basically have some delightful people like me running around doing silly stuff. Anyway, so yes, that's the gist of the thing. But how does it work? We get split into two parts of the program. One of them is, the first part is what I'm meant to be doing for the musical part of my career. So what things am I working on with musically speaking, my touring, my writing, performing, that sort of stuff. Then part two is what I'm actually working on. And one of the funny things is nowadays I'm beginning to realise that the stuff that I'm doing, which I maybe would have thought is not really to do with music, has now become sort of a long way round, but helping in a sort of tangential way. Either way, it's two halves of silliness. So before we start, let's do the Fizzy Brain housekeeping. So I'm going to be doing some gigs coming up, and as always, you can get tickets from ticketsource.co.uk/awkward strawberry. Tickets for the upcoming Awkward Strawberry show number 5 are already up there. More about that in a second. So coming up on the 27th of April, that's this weekend coming, Once and Future Festival, which is basically a story about a festival like this sort of an Edinburgh Fringe kind of thing in Brighton, but it's all about folklore, it's about storytelling, it's about the macabre and other such things. So I'm going to be telling some stories and doing some weird stuff and talking about my woodland goth project and such on Sunday at the Yellow Book. Yes, that place I said wouldn't play again, but they didn't tell me until the last minute that we were playing the Yellow Book, so that's interesting. But I love the people who are putting the festival on. I've got a few people saying they're going to come and join me. It's going to be a laugh. Do come along. Have a look about it. If you go on to Once and Future Festival, search for that in Brighton, and there's tickets to all sorts of things. The main headliner is the one and only Andrew O'Neill. For those of you who don't know, Andrew O'Neill is, in the worlds of sort of non-binary, gender-queer people, I am, as we are basically shape-shifting wizards, as you all know, I am the Radagast the Brown version of a non-binary person. Andrew O'Neill is like the Saruman, the very black kind of thing. Before Saruman was evil, when he was actually a really good wizard doing some shit. I'm not saying Andrew O'Neill is going to become evil. I think they probably say that they technically are. I mean, they do satanic-style rituals as part of their sets. So, I leave that up to you. But basically, woodland goth, and they are more of the traditional, or as I refer to them, the high goths. I don't mean the high goths. I mean like sort of high elf, high goth. There are many different types of goths, and I think this might become a tea towel or t-shirt at some point of the different levels of gothicness, from woodland to high to underwater goths, and also those who wear reflective like clothing. They are the high Visigoths. There's a Roman Empire joke for you there. But anyway, yeah, so there's that going on, which is going to be good fun. We've also got, like I said, on the 1st of May, Awkward Strawberry number 5, which features Sam Tucker, Brian Stone, and Luna Barge. So that is going to be wholesome and cute as fuck, basically, as a lineup, and I'm going to be comparing. There are tickets still available. The tickets with the passwords that those who have come to the Awkward Strawberry shows before, those are still in place. If you were there, you can use that password and come along. Or there are, at the moment, early bird tickets. Now, I did used to have them as £8 advance, £10 on the door, but due to all the extra fees and such that Ticket Source put on, I had to reduce it down to £5, so it works out at £8 on the door. Because otherwise, if you bought them for £8 in advance from Ticket Source, all the extra fees would basically only make it 50p cheaper than buying it on the door. Now, I do love it when people buy things on the door. It is great. We obviously keep all the money, and all the money goes to the bands, but it does scare the shit out of us when we've only got a few tickets sold, and then everyone just turns up last minute. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you how to buy tickets. Just come to the show if you want to. Yeah, like I said, tickets are on ticketsource.co.uk/awkward strawberry. After that, the 2nd of May, I'm at Chaplins in Boscombe. I'm really excited about that gig, despite the fact I forgot to put it on my listings because I'm an idiot. So I'm going to have to do that possibly tomorrow morning. 3rd of May, BRIXHAM Pirate Festival with the Sweetchunks band, featuring prominently the song We Are Not Pirates, We're Drunks on a Boat, which is also the song that got us booked for that fucking gig, so yeah, you worked that out. 4th of May, I'm off to Teddy Rock's Festival in Blandford. I'm actually going to try and get down there on the 3rd, so I'm going to spend the evening there with a good lady riding instructor, and I know there's a few people going to Teddy Rock's or contemplating it in Blandford. It's really good fun. There's lots of tribute acts, but it's for charity with the tribute acts, and there's a lot of also good underground music as well, so it's a lot of fun and a lot of silliness, and it's quite reasonably priced beer wise, and also the staff there are lovely, well worth checking out. The 9th of May, A Up My Duck Festival. This is my first proper Compering festival event of the year. I'm going to be looking forward to that. I'm so excited. Again, I haven't actually organised how the flying fuck I'm getting there, so we'll see that closer to the time. Then on the 17th of May, it's the Dart Music Festival, which is sort of like around the River Dart, a lot of areas down there. They're sort of taking over a small town and putting loads of venues on, that kind of little mini urban-y festival. But yes, so there's that. So yes, it's all that coming up, which is marvellous. So just going to quickly check on the I've got this irritating thing at the moment where my chat window, I can't be looking at my script whilst looking and have the chat window in the side, because I have to open up the fucking OBS window. By the way, if you're new to the stream, I swear a lot. Anyway, it's a brief thing telling you. So Aubrey's are awesome. Oh, thank you. Looking forward to Awkward Strawberry 5. Yes, so am I. It's going to be great. Saruman was the white, but he is now the black guy now. He's played by James Earl Jones. God, that would have been cool. James Earl Jones is a wizard. He was a wizard. I saw an interview with James Earl Jones recently, and I just keep forgetting how gorgeous his voice is. Anyway, that's not the only thing to take away from the amazing actor that is James Earl Jones, or was James Earl Jones. But yeah, superb voice, as well as a great performer. So, chin chin, let us begin. So, what am I currently working on? Well, I've just come back from a hectic but marvellous 3-day tour. Well, it's an ongoing tour, but 3 days of dates back to back in one go. So the 18th on the Friday, I was in the marvellous town of Shrewsbury at Albert Shed, a new venue to me, with Professor Elemental and Thomas Benjamin Wilde, Esquire, and it was absolutely marvellous. I'm really happy with it because it's the first time I've played there. I sort of put the gig on. It was quite an interesting way that got put on. Is basically I contacted Albert Shed and went, "Hi, I would like to put on a show, either as a headliner or as a support." Now looking at the size of the venue, I realised how silly it was that I was suggesting putting on being a headliner. And they said, "Yeah, we'd be well up for that. Do you know Professor Elemental and Thomas Benjamin Wilde? Would you be interested in having them play as well?" And I said, "Yes, I do know them. I can go and ask." And I did. And it turned out I booked my own gig and then put myself on as support. But you know what? Who the fuck cares? It was a great night. Absolutely loved it. The audience there were wonderful. It was lovely to catch up with people. One of the best dragons that we've ever seen. More about that later. And the very generous crowd that not only came along to the show and really got into it, bought loads of merch, which was like fuck, and I'll explain why in a couple of seconds. But also a lot of kids there, which is great. And also one of those things of like, you know, when people bring their kids, it's lovely to sort of teach the new generation a whole new set of fucking swear words. But it was also just these little kids were just well up for it. So it's great to see that people are actually taking their kids to music to enjoy it and try new things out. And one of the things that was really lovely about that show, not only was it a wonderful show in a wonderful little venue, the green room, never normally something I really give a shit about, because I spend most of the time out of it, not out of it, but outside of the green room, was that it has a fucking balcony. The green room had it had a fridge and all these other things, which was great, and they gave us a lovely little rider. But it had a balcony. I was able to go out onto the balcony, which overlooked a Tudor building, which was gorgeous. And I actually got to say to a random member of the public, "You there, boy, what day is this?" And had a small conversation shouting at a member of the public. It was great. Glorious place. If you ever get to the chance to go to Shrewsbury and go to the Albert Shed, I highly recommend that you do. It's a good little show. Good little venue, sorry. Second gig was at the Saddle Inn in Chester. Now, this was one of those things that was half great, 2/3 great, 1/3 not so great. So this was another new venue for me in a city that I'd never played in before. So I lowered my expectations. I was expecting to make no money at all. In fact, the sales of my merch and the other two shows, I counted on. So basically, to negate the losses, basically, travel wasn't so much of a problem because I was traveling from Shrewsbury to Chester. It was not that far, and also shout out to the marvelous Chris and Shelley who put me up and were wonderful hosts. Gave me a vegan chocolate egg, which is really, really nice, for Easter, and I had to actually unceremoniously smash it so I can fit it in my bike panniers and get it on the train, but it was delicious. And so, yeah, thanks to them, it was a wonderful little thing. And also they came along to the show, made it really, really good fun. But in the end, I think I had 6 people in the audience, but it was not only a new place, and hopefully I'm going to give a message to the guys at the venue and basically say, I'd like to come back. I've got some ideas of how we can make it better, get more people in, that sort of thing, build on it and such. But also, the time I had in Chester was absolutely, absolutely lovely. And I got to go to Chester Cathedral, which was nice. I arrived at Chester Cathedral and thought, fuck me, it's really, really busy in here. This is the busiest cathedral I've ever been to. And then realised it was Easter weekend, the main festival of this faith, basically. So it was rammed, and I've never been in a cathedral that's rammed like a music festival. It's really bizarre, but it's lovely. And also, actually, Chester. For those of you who follow along with me, my recommendations of different cathedrals, Chester Cathedral is at the moment the top of my list. It is now my favourite cathedral for looks. It is absolutely stunning. It's also lopsided, which I quite like. It's they built out to one side more than the other. But it's absolutely gorgeous. They have a purple stained glass window, which when you go to behind the altar and look up towards it, you get this beautiful purple sheen that shines through. And they also put purple lights on the inside. So the inside looks a little bit like the Buy Pride flag. I'm just saying. It's I think that cathedral swings both ways, Catholic and Protestant. Satire. But the Pope died, didn't he? Well, wasn't that close to God then, was he? Could have saw that coming. Well, that's not really how God works. Anyway, but it was absolutely lovely little city. I got to a little wander around. It's a fell in love with the place. It's an absolutely beautiful place. I'm going to be taking the good lady riding instructor, her and Dawson, there at some point because it was just so much fun to run around and have a look around and such. And but yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And one of the things is I just noticed that Danny says we'll be coming down from Newcastle area, so I doubt we can help, although you can definitely stop by in our van. It's to A Up My Duck. Oh, yeah, no worries. I'll have a chat about A Up My Duck later. But yeah, I'll work something out. I generally I can find something. It'll be fine. But yes, it was, so there weren't as many people as I'd liked at that, at the show, but I'm optimistic about future shows there, and I'm going to keep on going at it. And if it's one of those things, if I do Shrewsbury and then Chester and keep sort of working on that, and it's a nice sort of gateway into North Wales kind of thing, because it's so both like hops over the border. One of the things I found quite entertaining was that all the lifts in Shrewsbury railway station, which is one of the shittest designed railway stations I've ever been to. You have to go out of the railway station to go to platform 3. So you sort of leave, you go through the ticket barrier, and then go right the way around, then back in through another ticket barrier thing. It's dumb as fuck. But the thing I do like is that the lifts all have a Welsh accent, which is marvellous. I do like Transport for Wales' Welsh use of things. First of all, and I love the fact that in Transport for Wales, the announcements for the trains have to come considerably earlier because they have it written twice. Once, obviously, in English, and the other time it's in Elvish. Sorry, Cymraeg, and it's like. So you have this wonderful. I remember I get surprised by it every time I go to a Welsh railway station and forget that's what's going to happen, and just hear this whistling of something about Rivendell, and then in English, but then the English words coming out. It's just sort of that sort of Shrewsbury, the Cardiff Central. It's just like marvelous. It's the thing that I've always enjoyed about Welsh transport for some reason. It's just like I feel like I'm in the. Would Rivendell have trains? Would it be well connected? I don't know. The next stop is Rivendell Central, followed by Rivendell North. But yeah, so I'm going to keep going at it. I didn't write it off. It was actually better than I thought because people bought merch, and that sort of covered everything. And it was like, oh well, not only did I not lose money, I actually made a little bit, a tenner, but I still made a bit of money. So it still works, man. And then after that show went off to the marvellous Winchester Gate in Salisbury, did a little cider festival, caught up with some people, and it was marvellous. And the cider was fantastic. And then I had to cycle home. But a good weekend's gigging, actually, all in one. Hence the yawn. Oh, have a bit of a gin. Cheers. So alongside that, I've been working on the album with the professor I was telling you about in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll be working on a small EP based on a cross between the Wicker Man and Balamory, is what we've been told. Because there's been so much things going on this week, I'm going to be putting down some ideas and getting some stuff about that. So it's really exciting because I want to do it and he wants to do it. I'm going to do it. And it'll be great. And hopefully one of the tracks will feature on my new record, but like an alternate version of it. So link the two together, which I think would be quite good fun. So if you buy my new album coming out, then you'll get some Professor Elemental. And if you get some Professor Elemental, you'll get some of my stuff as well. How lovely is that? So it's sort of like the twofer, as it were. And yeah, so speaking of album, some exciting news. I have set up a Kickstarter. Now, the guys on Patreon already know about this. So those guys, put the kettle on. You know the score with this. So I'll put the link in the show note. Well, the show notes. The link in the blurb and so. Well, yeah, I suppose it is the show notes. Yes, there will be a link in the show notes with a link to the Kickstarter. It's just kickstarter.com/projects/Aubrey Blakeledge /woodland-gothic. The link's there, you'll be able to find it. So basically, I've kept it as simple as possible. I'm going to try and raise $2,000 to basically come up with the cash to support the record and paying for extra musicians, because I want to sort of while releasing it, I want to make sure that the people involved with it are all getting paid. At the moment, the way that I'm budgeting it is myself. Well, obviously I don't pay myself anything, but I'm paying for the producer and also covering the costs of Mike, who's going to be working with me on the guitar for it. So I'm keeping it quite stripped back at the moment. But the more money I raise with it means that the more musicians I can work with, because I want to do some drums on there. I want to obviously include some bass if we have some fiddle and such on there as well. But I've got it in my head of the different versions of it, depending on how much cash we raise. If we get $2,000, it basically means that the producer gets paid, Mike gets paid, I can get a drummer, and I can get get a pianist to come and join us. And if we get any more than that, then I'll be able to get some more people on top of that as well, which would be smashing. So the way that I've done it to fund it, I've kept it into 3 simple tiers. One, which I call Smug Satisfaction, where you can donate £1 and you're just part of the whole thing, and you get to look at the record when it's done and go, I helped make that. If you want to put a £5 in, you get the record. So you get a digital copy of it. You also get a physical copy, because I'm going to release it on CDs, because I realised if, Elon Musk and all those cunts are going to put an active effort into destroying the planet, me selling some CDs is not going to make any difference. And also, so you get a copy of it, you get the CD, you get that. You can pay £20 and you get a copy of the CD, get a digital copy. You're also going to get a T-shirt, which is going to be specially designed by the marvellous Sammy Grogan, which will go out with the CD. I haven't designed that yet, but it will be there, and you'll get that as well. At the moment, the basic sort of design I've got in my head, if we don't come up with something better, and we will, would be I sponsored Aubrey Blakeledge's new album, and all I got was this shitty T-shirt. That is the bare minimum of shirt design. More than that, we're going to get something interesting. And anyways, yeah. So, and also, of course, the budget means that the less money I take out of my own savings to pay for the artwork, CD production, and all that sort of thing. So yes, obviously there are people following me on Patreon already, and you people are absolutely marvelous and already supporting me. So I can't really ask any more from you. But if you're not on the Patreon, please consider having a look at the Kickstarter. And if you're on Patreon, please consider going on the Kickstarter. Who knows? As part of that, to sort of like share it with everyone, I'm going to be putting demos onto Patreon. I've already started doing that, and they're going to be several weeks in advance of me putting them out onto social media. And also, you can download the video, and you can download the track as they are. These are subject to change because as the recording process goes forward, they change around, new ideas get added. There's a couple of tracks that I'm going to send you the demos for, which are actually, funny enough, heavier than the idea I've got in my head. So you're going to hear, and not all of them are going to be put out on social media either. I'm basically doing stripped back guitar into the microphone versions. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just keep yawning at the moment. And so I'm going to be recording simple versions that will go out similar to this sort of format out onto TikTok and various other things. But you guys are going to get on top of those in Patreon, you'll also get demos that don't have videos and such for you guys to enjoy. So you can basically hear how the album comes together. I'm not going to do loads of behind the scenes stuff. I'm not going to do things like that because, quite frankly, no one actually gives a fuck. The amount of times I've seen tour videos and other such things, and people see the first one, then afterwards realise, wow, this is really monotonous, because recording an album is boring as fuck. I mean, watch the Beatles movie. For some reason, they thought it'd be a good idea to show not only the Beatles recording an album, but for 9 fucking hours of material of that. It's really boring, so I won't bore you with that. I'll just give you more music to listen to. And that's with the Patreon. So yeah, like I said, if you can't join Patreon, you don't have money for the Kickstarter, and you want to help, you can always wait for the album to come out afterwards, and then I can try and scramble back some of my losses. But yeah, there's plenty of different ways to support. But like I said, the link to the Kickstarter will be in the show notes for you to peruse, click, and do other such things after the show. I'm also going to do an email out to all of my Patreons, the Sweetchunks band Patreons as well, because I realise you guys have been a bit neglected by the fact we've not been able to do anything for a while. So we're going to try and come up with some more material to share with you guys. And also my mailing list groups. If you want to be part of the mailing list, just give me an email with your email address and all that sort of details. You can go through the contact page on my website, or you can join Patreon for free, and I get all the details that way, and I can add you to these mail outs sort of thing. Anyway, yeah, so there's lots of different ways of supporting the album as it gets created. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, to get it recorded, start recording in June. So what I might do is, well, no, that's it. I don't know why I said what I might do. It's going to be recorded in June. So yeah, basically you've got about a month or so, just over a month, to try and save up to get a load of cash together and create a record. So let's see what we can do. Right. Okay. So that's basically all I've been working on. Gigging and getting ideas and other such things. So for those of you who aren't aware of what's going to be coming out on Patreon soon, well, it's already on Patreon, and I'm going to be putting on social media very soon. This is a track that I've decided to call, I've played on here before, but you've heard the very rough version. This is a slightly less rough version, and also I've been drinking port, so it's going to be hilariously rough. And this is called Listen with Mother, also in brackets, if you're sitting comfortably. If you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. We'll have a little dance and then we'll have a little sing. The evening's just begun, my dear, many stories I shall spin. And if you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. We'll start with tales and melodies, some happy and some grim, a little bit of romance and the right amount of sin, with debauched exploitation sung with a little grin. If you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. Sat in my favourite chair with a buttload of gin, armed with a librarian, my favourite evil search engine. The line twixt fact and fiction is getting pretty thin. If you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. And if you're at a loss tonight, I have the perfect medicine. Inform your friends and family and I'll go tell your next of kin. You're far too busy tonight and you definitely won't be in, 'cause you are sitting comfortably. And I've just began. Shit. If you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. We'll have a little dance and then we'll have a little sing. The evening's just begun, my dear, many stories I shall spin. And if you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. And if you're sitting comfortably, then I shall begin. There we are. If you have a drink in your hand, raise it up and put it in your face. Port. Good evening, Eric. It is, in answer to your question, Dan, it is on the downloadable versions on the paid Patreon. Because it's sort of, special downloady things. The free Patreon is just sort of letting people know what's going on. The paid Patreon has all the downloads and the extra stuff. Yes. My gin. Eric, you've missed so much. Because what we've done, you've arrived at the right time, because handily, by giving you a recap, this is a point where I give a recap normally, and before going on to part two. So part one, we're talking to what we've been doing, what I've been doing, been gigging, been sorting out a record. I've been setting up a Kickstarter, which the link will be available at the end of the show, and other such delightful things. And sorting out things on Patreon, and sorting out mailing lists and other things where I'm going to contact you lovely people, making sure that you have the right amount of stuff. And actually help, basically for all of the help that you guys have given me, I'm going to be trying to give you more things, but not sort of gratuitously, the right amount of stuff. Stuff is good. And congratulations to Eric for joining us this evening. In fact, congratulations for all of you for joining me, because I do apologise for the sporadic nature of the last couple of weeks. I've been dealing with technical issues. I've been dealing with all kinds of problems. I'm trying to make sure that this is a regular occurrence. I have, for now, shelved Aubrey story times on those Mondays, because I think it's best that I commit to once a week and definitely turn up and do it every week and make sure that's nice and solid. And if I do extra stuff on top, that's a Brucey bonus. So yes, so do bear with me. I am still new to this whole professional musician shit with running everything myself. Oh, yes. And before I go into part two of tonight's show, which is basically what I've actually been doing rather than what I'm meant to be doing, a bit of news for the Sweetchunks band. The bit of news is that on Friday, possibly Saturday morning, we will have some Sweetchunks news. So there's news that there's news. Yeah. I know that's not very helpful to a lot of people, probably a little bit frustrating, but we're trying to work stuff out and organise things a bit better because we want to create more bits and pieces for everyone. I have applied again for Beautiful Days because we really want to do Beautiful Days this year. But yes, there will be some news at the end of the week, and I will be posting it up on socials and such like that. And we're getting together to do make some silly videos and all sorts of things, which is good fun. We played a gig at the last weekend with the glorious lady riding instructor, her indoors at her birthday, and it was really lovely to shake the cobwebs out and get playing again just in time for festival season, and playing a pirate festival while we were singing that we're not pirates, we're drunks on a boat. Never mind. Eric, don't worry about missing in Bristol. I'm actually going to contact those guys and sort out another show again there soon, and you can come back and see us as always. I'm always going to continue going round and round and playing new places and trying things out. And the guys at the Lion are absolutely fucking great, so I will be going back there. So, on to part 2. What have I been working on that has nothing really to do with or with anything useful? So, it's time for me to get the music together. I should have organised this earlier if I'd used my brain, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. Hang on. He stalls for time. Stalls for time. Stalls for time. Stalls for time. Still talking. There we go. There we go. It's dragging on. Oh, that one's falling apart. It's a good start. That one's... Oh, dear. Right. We have a couple of dragons, because people are actually wanting to keep them now. Bastards. So we got this one here, which is a very straggly dragon, with some lovely little fins on the head there. This is from Doncaster, a little while ago. Didn't get a chance to share you with you guys. Lovely little creation here. Tiny little cardboard mouth. Isn't that great? Little cardboard mouth. I've got to stuff them first. There's a list of my things to do. Next, we have... I was very impressed with this. Look, actually got wings. I would try and give you guys context with this for the audio version. But there is no context that will make this easier, to be frank. So, yeah, it's got wings. Silky wings. Now, the other the other things that happened, the other dragons that were created in the recent weeks have been so good that they've kept them. I am liking the fact that people are very ready to whip off a sock for art and create something special. So long may that continue, or until I find a better bit of creation for people to enjoy. Yeah. And as part of that, some of you may remember that, thank you very much for your subscription, by the way. Wizardora the Stoner Dragon. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Legend. I nearly forgot. Nearly fucking forgot. That was spectacular. Right. So, why did I just yell that out? Because one of the characters that came out at the Salisbury Gate, Winchester Gate in Salisbury, it always confuses me, was Wizardora, was the Stoner Dragon, which was a marvellously created dragon. Put a lot of effort into it, and then took it back. But we need more Vision 1 music. Back on there. More. No. More. Play again. Not that. I want more. Bastard. Fine, we're not having music. So. Oh, thank you very much. There's gifted of subscriptions. Oh, thank you so very much, you lovely people. Because that actually sends me money. So thank you. I don't quite know how it works, but I'm not complaining. So, yes, Wizardora the Stoner Dragon came out with a rolled spliff in its mouth, which was amazing. And Wizardora also had wings, which was great. It was just fabulous. And Keith the Dragon, no, it might be related to Rick. I don't know. We'll have to see. But as well as the dragons, do you guys remember me saying that I was going to make my own irregular choice shoes? I don't think I've shown you the final thing because I've been testing them. And Derry Lee, I forgot about Derry Lee the dragon. There's so many dragons got made. It's been a great time for dragon manufacturing. Let's face it. People talk about the decline of manufacturing in this country. Dragon manufacturer is at a whole all-time high. I think because if the shelf there will attest that dragon manufacturing is good. We're summoning dragons, and in fact, actually, some of you might have noticed on the wall that I've mounted the Glutundabus. Not made in a sweatshop, made from a sweaty shop. Yes, quite right. And I don't know if you can spot the Glutundabus is actually mounted on a gun rack. I have a gun rack. And also I've mounted my bugle. I'm going to be taking the Hampshire flag, and I'm going to be adding my gender fluid flag, and that will be coming with me to the trans march on Saturday, because why not? And I don't know if you can spot the little thing just under the Glutundabus. Finally, after all these years, I've got a fucking sword. For those of you who are listening to this, I have the world's smallest sword. Some would say it's a letter opener. They can fuck off. It's a sword. It is about 15 centimeters long, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I found this in a charity shop, and I decided to treat myself to this. Re-put it back on the mount. The only way that could be any better is if I was gifted it by some kind of aquatic creature, because that would have been funny. But alas, not. Yes, it was definitely a charity shop win. Do I have a PO box? Well, gifts of crafted dragons. This is one of those things, because I know you guys are all sensible, and if I give you some of you actually already have my address anyway, because we exchange Christmas cards, because that's the kind of group of people we are, and long may that continue. But I'm worried about where I put my address on the website or something. And go, here's my address, please don't send me weird shit. There was a stall at Fantasy Forest that sold mini swords that were hand forged. That's fan-fucking-tastic. Well, I'm going to Fantasy fucking Forest, that's for sure. But yeah, I would love to give. I'll tell you what. I'll hence the PO box. Yeah, good point. I should probably. That's where you get. I'll look into a PO box, because I think it would be quite funny to have. Send it to PO box whatever, and that adds to the Blue Aubrey badge thing. Reminds me, I need to make some more Blue Aubrey badges, because that's my last one that I've got. But luckily, I've got all the materials to make more, so I need to make more for the weekend. I've got one more for this weekend, and then it's just to make loads and loads and fucking loads. I really, really want to go to Fantasy Forest. I tried to get Sweetchunks booked there, but bless them, they said we were too sweary. I can understand that, but kids are not as fragile as you think. And also, if you've ever been in a school, worked in a school, or done any work, or lived near a school, you know that even from the age of 7, those little fuckers would, they swear like fucking troopers. So, you know, what would be sent to me other than weird shit? Good question. Normal things, that's probably been more terrifying. Anyway, so yes. Oh yes, that's what I was going to show you. So I mentioned that I was going to make a regular choice shoes. You've seen some of the bits of it, but you haven't seen the finished item, because I have finished them. And then I'll shut up about them. But yes, I have finally created the full fake rip-off tribute to irregular choice shoes. So this is got a combination. I think, for those of you who don't know, I basically can't fit into a regular choice shoes because they're made for pixie feet. So even the ones that are meant to be size fucking 13s. So I made my own. I got some Amazon Basics heels because I wanted to see if the idea worked, and then decoupaged them with half Sonic the Comic and half Private Eye. So not only are there hilarious sort of out of context things where Sonic's telling tales off, but there's also there's a bit here talking about sewage dumping in the New Forest, which is quite interesting, and then varnished the fuck out of it. So yes, they got. I'm very happy with these, and also I use bow ties to make the. It's just these fabulous bow ties I found in Beatnik Emporium in Southampton, and then just some little bits of costume jewelry that I have. So yes, I am a cobbler. I would wear them to the Pride event, but I fear that my feet would be killing me by the end of it. And just to let you know, for those of you who are playing Swear Along with Aubrey, the drinking game of the chat, I have just allowed the phrase "fuck off" into the chat. Within context, of course. If you're going to start shouting at each other, it doesn't count. But I obviously could see it's clearly within the context of a jolly good chat. But I just do like the fact that every now and then a little bot tells me, these people are swearing at each other. Is that all right? Yes. For now it is. Anyway, so yes, I've been creating shoes, which obviously has nothing to do with my thing. Although I've been playing around with certain bits of fabric because I've like I won't grab it now because it's buried under a mountain of things, but I've been making cardboard shapes because I practiced on a shirt that I made and sewn on some plain black strappy tops and things like that, and then some different stripes of different patterns and fabrics. And I want to do that with some leggings because I think it'd be quite good fun to sort of get some plain like black or white or whatever leggings and then just put some different colours. There's a makeup artist on TikTok whose name I've forgotten because I'm rubbish at names. Had a brilliant idea that very sort of like arty. They do like they do makeup that's based on sort of things like sunsets and things like that. They take a concept and then make quite funky makeup based on that idea, like arachnids or other such things, all kinds of different things. And one of them, they got some like mesh fabric with all kinds of like different like patterns in it, and then put it over their face, and then added different forms of foundation and blush and other such things. So it sort of came with this marvellous pattern across her face. And I thought, that is a smashing idea for some fabric. So I need to go to the scrap store tomorrow because it's open for 3 hours when I finish work until 5. And I'm going to get myself some mesh because I've got to have some in there. And I need to get myself some bleach that I can use for fabric and basically just spray it through or just sponge through some fabric paint. I basically want to experiment with a couple of bits of knackered old t-shirt fabric and see what works, and then try it out on some leggings. So that's going to come up in the future. I'm not sure whether that classifies as work that I'm meant to be doing, or that whether it's relevant or irrelevant to what I'm doing, because some of it will be on stage stuff, some of it is just for my own amusement. I have decided I want to make a book holster at some point. I'm trying to work out whether I want it to be a thigh holster or one of those underarm like the American police have. I haven't worked out which one yet. I've seen them being available on Temu, but it seems to be made in a sweatshop somewhere in the Philippines. Why not both? Good point. Yeah, it is a bit irrelevant and relevant, like good art. Have I decided what I'm going to do with the chain that I got? Not yet. There's something. Yeah, I think there's next time there's a chance to dress up as a knight. I think it'd be a cool thing to wear. But yeah, nothing's jumped out yet. I'm going to keep it until something jumps out at me, and then I'm going to go, yeah, hammer and tongs with it. But yeah, different holster combinations for different book units. Yes. And okay, back to my list, just double checking what I was going with. So yeah, speaking of the sewing and such, because the British Rail Book Club, if you want to join in, hashtag British Rail Book Club. If you're ever doing any traveling or you just want to share what you want to read, put that on. And it's basically, for those of you who don't know, whenever I go touring on on a train, strangely enough, I get a book out and read it, and it's just one of the things that I'm reading at the time to pass the time. And it's another way of getting around algorithms and showing where I'm going and where I'm playing on the sly. But it's also become a really nice way of finding out what people are working on. And just interruption there, I have made zero progress on my chain crop top. I want a chain crop top, so I need you to work on that, find out how to do it well, and then let me know. And Dan, sorry to hear about the wheelchair problems. That sucks. Hopefully get that sorted out soon enough, because that sounds like a really irritating electrical problem you've got there. But yeah, so British Rail Book Club has become basically just how I pass the time. But sometimes I now realise that with me doodling a bit more, but also some of the stuff that I was sewing on the train recently, because I've basically been repairing this very pair of trousers, actually. So I decided to take these with me on the recent tour, because I had to fix the elastic band around here, and also there were loads of damage around the seam. So I thought I'd bring it along and just sat there on the train sewing whilst listening to the Magnus archives, which is something that I've really gotten into. Like, damn. So it's a horror podcast for those of you who don't know. And if you like a bit of like classic British horror, it's fucking great. Can't stop listening to it. It's sort of like a cross between The Twilight Zone, The X-Files, and Hammer Horror. It's smashing. But yes, so if I have a drink in my hand, yeah, if you have a drink in your hand, raise it up and I'll put it in my face. I did see someone redeemed the hats off. Does that mean I have to put a hat on? I forgot about that. Drink for the Magnus archives, yes. Statements ends. Yeah, did someone redeem hats off? Was that one I have to put a hat on? Yes, I do have to put a hat on. Where's my hats? Let's find. Oh yeah, I haven't worn that one. This is the House of 1,000 Hats, so it's not too hard for me to wear different hats whilst talking. So for those of you who are listening on the audio, I have just put a university mortarboard on, because yes, I got one of them in a box full of stuff. Channel points, damn, the Pokemon of Twitch. Yes, it is, especially when the stuff that I put on there. If while we're doing this over the next few weeks or whatever, if there's other little funny things you think would be entertaining, let me know and I'll put them in for my own amusing. Need to get into Magnus? I highly recommend it. Heard about it through. Welcome to Night Vale. I heard a few episodes of that whilst on tour, and I did enjoy that. I need to go back to that after I've cleared out the Magnus archives. I am currently on 2019. I have a long way to go. If one of us saves up 10k, we could just ruin this by putting you on mute. Yeah, I just have to use sign language. My Macaton is good. It is not that good. I've been thinking about this actually. I might do a course on British Sign Language, because I think it's a useful thing to learn in an emergency where people need it. At times I've needed it. What's it called? When I've needed to use Macaton, it's been so helpful with someone that's been in having issues. And I think it's also as well when I've dealt with some people who are having various mainly epilepsy related issues or things like that, and I use a few bits of signing whilst talking to them. They find it reassuring, like, oh, you're a professional. Like, yes I am. I know what I'm doing, even if I'm dressed like a twat. My favourite sign in BSL is bullshit, which is still my favourite thing in the world. Philosophize this podcast. Yeah. That's a good one. I've heard of that one. I've heard good things. Anyway, so I've got my hat on. I had a drink. I'll have another drink. I'll have a cider drink. I'll have a vodka drink. But so, yes, I've been listening to the Magnus archive, sewing up my trousers, fixing various things, sewing more bits. It's been good. Done my irregular choice, and I think the last thing I want to tell you guys is actually the bike. You can see my lovely little steed in the background here. So basically, there we go. See it better there. So my trusty steed has been in the background of this podcasty thing since the beginning, because I have to store it in here, because I refuse to steal my bikes outside because some fucker will steal them. And the reason I had my bike for so long and it was well looked after is because I won't let anyone steal it. So what I've been doing, I bought myself some bike luggage that I can actually, and I've worked out how to create a rig that I can fit all of my touring stuff on the bike. So I actually have the two panniers down the side, keep my t-shirts in one and my merch in the other. A little backpack goes on the back with my records in it, and also all of my and it also has my clothes in it, my wash stuff, and then my decoupaged with back straps ukulele bag goes on my back, and then I cycle to and from wherever. So that is where it was before. That was working for me really, really well while I was going around and playing. But what I'm going to do is get another ukulele bag, which I've got on order, should be arriving soon, and then that's got like sort of it's more padded. It's got padded straps and also a little bag on the back, so it could make life a bit easier for me. It's just a case of just trying to make it work. We shall see. That will be arriving later on in the week. And where do I get the bags? I basically I was looking around on eBay for them. Remind me another time. Chucking a basket on the front. I have considered getting it. The problem is that I've got my my phone holder and my various other things that get in the way on it. I did consider a bike trailer, but getting it on the fucking train as it is a pain in the ass. So with a trailer, we'll probably make it a bit more of an issue. I have considered getting like a little front roll on the front. Obviously, where else would I put it? But it depends on where it fits on the bloody bike. I also need to get a kickstand for it, but the problem is with the way that my bike's run, because it's a gravel bike, not a road bike. Those places where you usually put the a sturdy stand underneath, there's no room for it, so I'm going to have to get one on the side. So I have to get one if it's clamped on the side that isn't a weedy little bitch. So I need to get a strong and stable bike stand. Great for a bike stand, shit for a government. Yes. So there's that. Well, the reason I mentioned the bike, not only am I using that more and more at gigs, because I cycle to the railway station, get on the train, travel to a place, and then I use the bike to cycle from the train station to the venue. It has saved me so much time, so much effort. But also there's been a couple of times where I've had some really nice rides at the end of the show on the way back. Like, for example, on the way home from Salisbury, because there was a rail replacement from Romsey to Southampton Central, and those buses don't take fucking bikes on them. I had to cycle home from Romsey, which was a lovely 40-minute ride, which I really, really enjoyed. It was nice to get out on the bike and listen to more Magnus archives while driving down the road. But I don't think you can see here from your position, but I started putting stickers on the bike to make it even less appealing, because I've gotten addicted to putting stickers. I think you guys can see this. Stickers on my sewing machine, like all kinds of bits and pieces from bands I know, from people just sending me stickers and other such things, which is a lot of fun. But I realised I've only got a limited amount of space on that, and I thought it'd be nice to cover the bike in stickers of venues and bands that I meet, and also people who give me stickers who are at shows. It becomes very much a sort of fun little thing. I also need to make myself a little sign. That is basically Aubrey's mobile shop that I'm going to keep in one of the bags and then hang it over the side of the bike, because when I was in Shrewsbury, I was able to cycle the bike into the venue and they let me put it up as the merch stand. So I basically had one pannier, not that one but a different one, with the what's it called, the t-shirts in it, and I need an extendable flag. That would be great. Just put that in there. Fuck yeah, that'd be cool. Flags, and then put my stuff on the side as well, and it just looked adorably silly, and had all my stuff there, and it meant when I was finished I could just pack it into the bag, and great. So yeah, I've become a cycle wanker, but it's all in the aid of gigging. So yeah, that's been fun. Oh, it's going weird. There needs to be a more efficient way of getting rid of bots and things on this in there. Oh, being a tit. Never mind. Well, the thing is, I've got a little collection of flags behind my desk because I am partial to a flag, and so maybe I just have a little flag sticking out the back and irritate arseholes. It's so easy to irritate arseholes. I don't even notice that. Flag. Rather be a cycle wanker than a car wanker. I think it would be quite good fun to have a basket on the front, even if it's just a little teeny one. Just the idea of a basket would be really, really fun. You flag. I was waiting for that. And it brings us back to being a Vexophile again. Oh, that's, my friends, is what we call a callback. Brilliant. Okay. Well, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about. So we've had some new dragons. I've been sewing like a mad motherfucker and listening to a lot of the Magnus Archive, which is sort of our British Rail Book Club this week. I've made my regular choice shoes. I need to sort of practice a bit more with the fake leather to see about making myself a holster for a book, because I think that would be funny while I walk around. Just there it is. And just also, I'm having a lot of fun just sewing mad stuff and making pouches and things. I made a little Ziploc, like little mini bag for Lily as a little present. I was practicing it out and I thought, actually, that looks really good. I'm going to give it as a gift. So I'm hoping that basically all my presents for Christmas this next year are all going to be tiny little sewn bags that I'm just going to practice and give to people, or pockets that they can put into things. So I've become a theist. A seamstress or seamsmix, as it were. But yeah, so that was fun. Yeah, I get distracted by so many things. I need to be better at that. Yeah, so British Rail Book Club, current fake irregular choice. I've got my bike with all the bike stickers and such. I have found it a lot easier to use the bike to go to gigs. I found that travelling across London, but the reason it sort of came up is when I realised that I wanted to sort of cut back my rig, and then avoiding the London Underground and just cycling across London. I can cross London in 12 minutes, as in Waterloo to King's Cross in 12 minutes, following the rules, stopping at lights because I'm not a cunt, and riding properly and sensibly, which is quicker than it is to go on the Underground. And I like the Underground, it's really quick. But of course, if you've ever been on the Underground with any kind of luggage, you look like you've just pissed on the baby Jesus. So yeah, fuck it, I'm going to cycle from now on. So yeah, so there's that. So that's pretty much it. That's what I wanted to talk to you about tonight. Got some leftover fake leather from redoing the Compering tour you can have. I would love to give that a good home and try playing around with it and create some stuff. Yes, so I have another little sip of my port. But basically, that's it. The main news is with the Sweetchunks band, there's going to be some news later in the week. And yes, yeah, quite right. Cycling is free. The tube isn't free. Do save a bit of cash. Yeah, so the two main bits of news is that I've set up a Kickstarter to fund the new record. I'm very excited about the record. I'm really quite proud of the stuff I'm putting together with it. So yeah, if you can help me get more musicians involved and make sure they're all paid, because that's the thing. It's like I want to start working with more people as a solo musician, and work with artists and other people and other designers and also creatives and that sort of thing, and make sure that people I work with don't do it for favors, they get paid. I want to make sure that as an artist that I'm more of a tradesperson, more an artisan, or what they called it. So yeah, I want to make sure that all the people I work with creatively get paid. And so to do that, I actually need more money, and I'll just use AI. Oh, dear God. And thank you very much for following the Kickstarter. You managed to find it. Good work. Yes, all the notes and the such will be put at the end of the show. I'll put this up on YouTube and all those other sorts of bits and pieces. So thank you very much. One more little reminder of the gigs coming up. All tickets are available on Ticket Source if the gigs have tickets that aren't through the festival's website. Ticketsource.co.uk/Awkward Strawberry. 27th of April, I'm in Brighton at the Once and Future Festival. The 1st of May, I'm back in Southampton at the Awkward Strawberry. I'm comparing Awkward Strawberry 5 with Sam Tucker, Brian Stone and Luna Barge. The 2nd of May, I'm at Chaplins in Boscombe. 3rd of May, BRIXHAM Pirate Festival with the Sweetchunks band, those guys. And the 4th of May, I'm at Teddy Rocks Festival, doing a couple of shows actually. Then the 9th of May, starting on the 9th of May, I'm at A Up Maduck Festival, and I'll be comparing that bad boy, and I'm really looking forward to that. First proper festival of the year, first full festival in one go. I don't know, I'm just adding superlatives to it. It's a festival that I'm really looking forward to. And 17th of May, the Dart Music Festival in deepest, sexiest Devon. As always, every Tuesday at 9 p.m. is Fizzy Brain, which is this. If you're watching this on YouTube or you're listening to a podcast version, at the end of every show, I keep going on with the guys who are watching live on Twitch. We basically just talk bollocks with the chat, and I actually remember some of the things I meant to say during the show because I keep forgetting, even when I write things down. So there's a bit of extra stuff. You want to come and join us, feel free. Drop in, drop out. And also, you get a couple of weeks, because I'm what is it called, an associate or some bollocks, on Twitch itself. You have the full length shows as to listen on demand, watch on demand, as long as you like, for a little bit longer. So yeah, go on Twitch, follow me on those various other places. So yeah, like I said before, I'm on all kinds of social media. It's Blue Sky, Threads, Faceache, Instagram, Bandcamp if you want to buy stuff. Spotify if you want to take stuff for free, if you like it, and test it out. YouTube has also got some bits and pieces there, and also some of the weird stupid stuff that I do, like I said, on TikTok as well. You go onto my website to find links to absolutely everything, aubreyblakeledge.com, including my new Kickstarter, which is kickstarter.com/projects/Aubrey Blakeledge/woodland/gothic. I will put the link in the show notes. Makes it easier. And for the first time ever, I am going to say a big old thank you to my lovely Patreons at the end of this. So you can join my Patrons either for free and get updates by just following on the page, or you can join the sexiest people in the world by giving just £3 a month, either through the Sweetchunks band Patreon and get stuff through there, or if you want to get direct stuff here, including early access to the music and get downloads of the demos and such, just go to Aubrey Blakeledge on Patreon, which many of the people who are listening have in fact done. And like I said, follow on Twitch for Twitch for extra conversations and such. So now, I said I was going to make like a little credits thing, which I've actually made. So I'm going to say farewell, and then I'm going to see if I can get this to work, because I've created a thing. So we'll see if this works. So thank you very much for joining me this evening, whether you downloaded, tuned in, streamed, or whatever. Of course, if you're in the chat, stick around. We're going to talk some bollocks for a little bit longer. But if you're not able to join us in the chat, have a wonderful evening. If you have a drink in your hand, raise it up and put it in your face. Well, that's annoying. It didn't work. How very irritating. Hang on. Let's try that again. Well, there was going to be like a Star Wars style thing, but it didn't work. So I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way and read it out. So thank you very much to all the Patreons that made this very important. I'll leave this on the end of the show. So there would have been music. There was a little video. There was a scrolling thing. There was interesting text. But now you just got me reading. So big thank you to all the Aubrey Blakeledge paid Patrons. Mike Wiles, Kaylee Woodland, lots of Woodlands, Puzzle the Cheetah, Edward Hamster, Kingsfoil the band, go check their music out, it's marvellous, Alan Fluker, Toby Rogers, Smoke and Hyde, Jules Malone, Edward Butler, Karen Martin, Wessex Girl, Rachel Lowe, Radish, and Jen Wiseman. And thank you to the Sweetchunks band patrons who don't get as much love as everyone else because, well, we haven't done anything there for a while, so we need to remedy that. Claire Hibbard, Edward Butler, Sarah Jane, Ruth Castell, Sharon Jessup, Rich Grove, Danny, Wessex Girl again, Rachel Lowe, Radish again, Alan Fluiker again, Andrew Harrison MBE, Dave Grant, Ziggy Woodward, Murray Turner, Jen Wiseman, Alison Piercy, and you can, like I said, join these legends for as little as £3 a month. Also, a big thank you to all of my free subscribers on all of the on both Sweetchunks and the Aubrey Blakeledge Patreons, and everyone that's joined the mailing list. So once again, thank you to all those lovely people. Without them, this show would not be possible. Thank you very, very much. Well,